to the One Pride podcast. We talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. And, well, the NFC North just got a little bit tougher as Micah Parsons was traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and their defensive tackle. And that obviously affects the Detroit Lions because we face the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North. And more importantly, we face them in about a week and a half. And we got to be facing a tougher defense. So make sure you go hit that like button. We're definitely going to be talking about it. Everybody here is talking about it right now. A lot of people freaking out. A lot of people upset from Lions fandom. A lot of emotions taking place here. So we're just going to get through it all, and we're going to have fun talking about it in today's stream. That's what we're going to do here, folks. That's what we're going to do here. I got to get my thing up so we can speak when I want to speak, because this is an emergency podcast here. Because, we didn't all expect this thing to take place. So I got you on. There you go. View it there. All right, so I want to give you my thoughts on this initially. First off, yes, the Green Bay Packers are a better football team. They are a better football team. Is that necessarily a bad thing for the Detroit Lions? It makes, look, the better that some of these teams get, like the Bears and the Packers, they beat up on other teams too, like the Vikings, like the Philadelphia Eagles. So we got to put that into account as well, folks. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world with a team getting better because, look, it would have been a little bit easier if we didn't have to go against the Vikings who had 14 wins at the same time we did. So there's that thing. Then you got to understand that this year the Packers are much better. But I remember the time that Khalil Mack got traded to the Chicago Bears, and everybody claimed that they were going to go to the Super Bowl. Now, it initially helped the Bears out for a couple years, but then that thing called the cap space comes in, and if you don't do anything with the significant trade, it can haunt you a couple years down the road. A lot of people said, why didn't the Lions trade for Micah Parsons? Would you give up Tyleik Williams and Terrion Arnold for Micah Parsons? And I would say, because there's 2 first-round picks and a player, and a Lee McNeil. Would you guys give up a Lee McNeil, Terrion Arnold, and Tyleik Williams, say, for a Micah Parsons? But it's not just that. Down the road, you're not going to be able to keep a Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, Jamison Williams, all the names. You wouldn't be able to keep them. Why? Because you invested all that money into one player, and we got to pay Aiden Hutchinson. Now, what affects me the most about this trade, and what sucks about it from a Lions perspective, is it does affect Aiden Hutchinson's contract. So now he's going to get more, and that's a son of a bitch when you wait on these things, because you eventually got to get paid more, and the next contract's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, so it's going to affect the Lions from a contract standpoint. But it will make the Packers better. They are a better team. With that said, too, as well, I don't know about you guys. I still think the Vikings are a scarier team than the Packers. I still think they are. All around. In my opinion, the NFC North is a tough division, but that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It's going to help us beat on other teams in the NFC. San Francisco 49ers. Remember, the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings got tough schedules as well. Not as tough officially as the Lions. The Packers got the sixth toughest schedule. But it can help the Lions out too in some instances. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a terrible thing. He says, we are struggling to sign Zadarius Smith. This one is a clunker to me. I don't know why we don't. Raw Detroit. And what sucks is now as Dallas Cowboys got an opening spot for pass rusher. And that makes Zadarius Smith money go up a little bit more. But I think the Lions are not signing him. The way that Brad Holmes spoke, the way that I took it from his body language, is they're not going to bring him back. They're cool with waiting. If we beat the Packers twice this season, what does that say? It just says that the Lions are the better team. Remember, guys, folks, we beat the Packers twice last year. We beat the Packers when our team was depleted on defense. with like nobody on defense. We had 11 practice squatters, it felt like, on defense. We got to remember this. I think the Lions defense are top 3 in the NFL. We have a great defense. Great defense. And I think their offense is going to be great. The question mark is the offensive line, right? Can they hold? Parsons and Gary, you're right, is going to bring a tough one. But guess what? Hutchinson and Davenport's a tough duo as well. Question for you in the comments. Who would you take, Aiden Hutchinson or Micah Parsons? I'll take Aiden Hutchinson. You know, now, what I like about Marcus Davenport is what he can do on the field is great. What I don't like about him is his ability to get injured. But he's going to be available week 1. He ain't injured. Unless he gets injured in the game. We don't want that. But look at the Lions defense. Look at all the names we have on our defense, folks. Let's stop freaking out. Let's stop. We may have the best secondary in football. DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. Our defensive line is good for week 1 right now, right? Because we got Davenport. He's healthy. Aiden Hutchinson, Davenport, Tyleek Williams, DJ Reader. Then the linebacker core, Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes. That's damn good, man. Aiden Hutchinson's been tearing up camp. Hutch rule for the Texans as well. Everybody's got the Hutch rule, but guess what? In game day, there ain't no Hutch rule. Jordan Love's got to prove himself. He hasn't stayed healthy for a lot of the season. So I know a lot of people are freaking out. I'm still more worried about the Vikings than I am the Packers in the division. They scare me more. Their whole damn team is good. They got just an unproven quarterback, right? So that's their issue. But their wide receivers scare me if you have a competent quarterback. Their offensive line is great. Their defensive line is great. Their linebackers are amazing. So that's what, like, when I think about that, that's the way that I go there. So in the division, I still got the Lions as the best team. I think the Vikings are still the second best team. The Packers, but it's going to be really close, like a win or two of all the teams. I think it's not going to be that big of a difference. I don't think it's going to backfire. Well, we needed to get a pass rusher. But Hassanin is returning to the Lions. Brad Holmes said that. He will be back to the Detroit Lions. It's because our O-line, that is my concern, Venom, is the O-line. Our offensive line right now is unproven. That is what does worry me. We don't know until we see it on the field because we haven't seen anything. You know, we heard in training camp, doesn't mean anything until we see it in week 1. So that's where my thing is, and just run the football. If there is pressures getting on Jared Goff, just run the football. We got the best running back duo in football. Just run the football if they're getting pressure. Folks, we got a universal offense that can defeat anybody. Anybody. Well, their pass rush is great. Okay, we'll just run the football. Like that, I like it. Okay, your secondary sucks, but your great run defense, okay, we'll just pass the ball. Man. This team is really good, guys. Now, the offensive line, but I believe in Tate Ratledge. And Brad Holmes spoke to the media and says Tate Ratledge is the future center. So expect him at guard this year, and the next year, Tate Ratledge will jump into center. And I would expect the Lions probably draft a guard. And then, look, you basically revamped your whole offensive line. The next aging one is Taylor Decker, but he's got a couple years left in him probably. So let's just slow the pace. Yes, the Packers are a better football team. That's not means it's bad. It's not a bad thing. It can actually help out the Lions a little bit. Who gives the F? We don't have a defense that can fit. Our defense is a top 3 defense in the NFL. What in the hell are... Oh, y'all don't know, man. The Lions' defense is ridiculous. Okay, that is not what I'm worried about. Have you not seen what is going on right now in practice? He could play that. You're correct. He could play guard. He's just got to get healthy. I liked him too, but he is banged up. We'll see. That's very possible. Says I'm just worried that Goff is terrible under pressure. I'm not worried. If he is getting a ton of pressure, I'm sure they'll adjust fire and run the football a little bit more, or do some screen passes or something like that. I don't think he's going to be under duress some crazy amount. You still got Penei Sewell. Tate Ratledge, I love. He's really developed into a good guard. Mahogany's awesome. Decker is still Decker. And then we already know about Graham Glasgow. That, to me, Graham Glasgow is more of the question mark than any of the rest of the offensive line. Mahogany's good, guys. He's a good player. I don't think you got to worry about that. He's a good player. Tate Ratledge is a young player. He'll make a mistake here and there, but he's solid. He's solid. I agree with you. The Lions defense, if they stay healthy, just like any unit, it's all if, and that's with any team. The Lions defense right now is good, dude. So if you're looking like, oh, they got smashed by the Vikings, by the Commanders, this ain't the same defense. It's totally different defense here. All our players are back. And we have been the Miami Dolphins, the Houston Texans, and our own offense have struggled against our defense. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm not too worried. I could see Jordan Love throwing multiple interceptions when we face him week 1. Do you think Jay Kerb and Brian Branch can do all this, and Amik Robert? We got DJ Reed. Come on, guys. We're still a great team. Still a great team, but yes, they're better. Mikey, do you think that the Cowboys will add Za'Darius? It's possible, and I tell you what, it makes his number go up. It makes his number go up. Oh, I got to get the big comment. Why didn't I? Because you guys' comment's not coming up there. There we go. I'll take your questions, man. He says, my man, what's up, the dirt? Run, run, run. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're not a one-dimensional offense. And one thing that I was always iffy about Ben Johnson for, he's great OC, but I always felt like, say the Commanders, why didn't we run on them all day, knowing that they were the worst run defenses in football? If you have a weakness, exploit it. We're good at running the football. We love to run the football. They're not good. They just lost their number 1 defensive tackle, and Parsons not great run defense. So I got an idea. If we're getting pressure, run the football. Or if there is no pressure and they're sucking in the secondary, light them up. This is what you got to do. And I'm hoping that is the case this year. Will Ahmed Hassanin play any game this year? Yes, Brad Hall. I don't know about play a game this year, but he'll be back on the team this year. Says, bro, the Packers were nearly 0-6. Yeah, they were 1-5. They had to do this, folks. Why did the Packers do this? You don't think they seen the Vikings and seen the Lions and seen even the Bears grow? They have to do this. The whole division is good, so they have to keep up and up and up. It doesn't just, they're automatically the best. No, they have to keep up with everybody else in the division is what they got to do. That's what they had to do. No, I think the Lions win by a touchdown. Here is the thing. I think the Lions are the better football team. I do. I think they are. I think the Lions go 2-0. The Packers had to do this to keep up with everybody in the division. They didn't have an elite pass rusher. Now they do. They didn't have one. Look at the rest of the division, right? You got Aiden Hutchinson. You got the holding pass rusher set over there in Minnesota. Van Ginkel up there at linebacker getting it done with all these pick sixes and hitting the quarterback. Now, the Bears have some issue on pass rusher, but they did get Montez Sweat a couple of years ago, so it's one of those deals where they haven't drafted that well, especially a pass rusher. Van Ness, he hasn't done anything for the Packers. They drafted him in the first round, so they had to trade to get their pass rusher, and now they're keeping up with the rest of the NFC North. Number one scoring offense in the league, absolutely. Now, I don't know if we're going to be number one, but we're damn good. I think our defense is top 3. I think our offense could be top 3. I think our special teams, I don't know what it is, right? It could be great. Yeah. Like, guys, the Lions are a good team. Let's take it down a notch. Yes, they are good. Absolutely. Question for you right now. Let's do a question for you. What offense would you take? Lions offense or Packers offense in the comments right now, and be unbiased. I'm taking Lions offense all day. Offensive line, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams, St. Brown, Isaac Tesla. I take Lions offense all day. All day, right now. I'm going to ask you a question after that. Once the L's come in. Lions all day. Lions, 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 Lions. Lions. Lions hands down. Lions. Lions, Lions. Universal. Question for you. Would you take the Lions defense? Aiden Hutchinson. Lee McNeil will eventually come back, and it could be about 5 weeks. We could have the best young interior in football when Lee McNeil comes back. DJ Reader, Tyleek Williams. Now, we don't know about Marcus Edmore. He's been good. It's all injury. Linebackers, Lions, amazing. Secondary, it's not even close. Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, Kirby Joseph, and Brian Branch, I'm close. Lions defense. Brrrah. So what are we upset about, folks? Did the Packers get better? Yes. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We're still the better team. And I tell you what, this year, we went 15-2. We're a great team. We know we are. We're a well-coached team all around. Bring it all on. I want all of the NFC North. I want them to get all the players. Let's do it. Let's show who's the baddest on the block. We're now the physical team, right? We're a badass team. Why are we scared? Let's go out there and show the world, right? Let's beat up on the best teams. We have the toughest schedule, right? Hell yeah. Let's go out there and prove it. Let's go out there and prove it. Do you think that this team is scared? No, not one bit. No one is scared on this football team. Players nor the coaches. Years ago, I would say I want the easy way, 100%. This is a different team. This team is physical. It reminds me of the old days of like Mean Joe Green and the Steel Curtain type of stuff. I want all of it. I want all of the smoke. This team wants all of it. Bring them all. I want all of it. I would not have done that trade if I was the Detroit Lions. Personally, but because we draft well. Now, the Packers are different, right? They haven't drafted that great. They've missed on some players, so it's good for them. for their organization, it's probably good for them, right? It's a better risk. The Lions, though, we always slam dunk our draft picks, so it's a different story, right? Now, if it was the Lions when we had Millenhue, I'd be like, do the trade because we suck at drafting, but not with Brad Holmes, man. Like giving up three players, literally, like for us, it would be giving up Aiden Hutchinson and Jahmyr Gibbs and Brian Branch. Man, I ain't doing all that crap, dude. Like, hell no. Hell no. So what are we scared about, guys? We should be like, yes, I am happy Green Bay did that. And I am. Bring it on, man. Hell yeah, I'm happy that Packers got better. Bring it on. I love it. Let the best team win. If they beat us fair and square. We beat them. There's no excuses, right? Right now, we're not favored to win week 1. And we go out there and punch them in the mouth. What is the excuses, folks? What? There is no excuses. There's no excuses. What are we scared about? We got a Hutch. Yeah, they have a Parsons, but we have a Hutch. Like, so they had to do it. Parsons a damn good player. They had to do it. I mean, they had to keep up, or potentially, like I was saying, I have the Vikings as the number 2 team in the NFC North. They had to keep up, man. The Bears could have jumped them, right? But I still think the Bears are the worst team. But they had to do this. I agree with you, Mason. Hutch needs help to not wear out. I agree with you. But him losing a lot of those weeks last year, it definitely added some years to wear and tear. But you're correct. Throughout the season, I think he needs to reduce the workload. 97% is a lot, and I love Hutch for it. But that just doesn't seem sustainable for all the way to a Super Bowl, right? Parsons, 25. He's a young buck. He says, I love the cope and hope on this page. How is there cope and hope? How is there cope and hope? I'm happy that they did this. If you're a team that is a Super Bowl contender, you believe in your team. And that's not hope. It's not hope and cope. It's believing in your team. Do you believe that the trade puts them in a Super Bowl contender? They're a top NFC team now. I'd say they're a top 5 NFC team for sure. And that's playoff contention. They were a 7th seed last year, correct? So they needed to do this. Let's see. Davenport will have a better season than Parsons. I don't believe that. That's I would definitely not say that. Parsons, a great pass rusher. And Davenport's got to prove he's got to be able to stay on the field and healthy. He has to prove that. That is something he has to prove. He's done it in camp, but it ain't NFL football yet. He says waiting up for 2028. No, he's not waiting up for 2028. It's trusting the draft. It's trusting the draft process. You know what I'm more pissed about is we didn't take a edge earlier in the draft. That's more. Super chat. $2 super.
Combo breaker.
Says Cope, no hope is saying you don't need a wide receiver 1 for years, right? Thanks for the $2 super chat. Yeah, they had a ways. They had to do this. Thank you so much, Jared Brewski. Who do you do with the 53rd roster spot? I have no idea. I don't think it's anything special. I actually believe Brad Holmes when he means he was just kind of just doing exactly what he said. So it could be anybody off the that was released or whatever. I really don't. I'm starting to believe that they're not going to get Smith at all. That's the tone that I took from Holmes. Maybe I'm incorrect. Holmes said all the edges he liked were gone in time that they were drafted. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. And there was a big run on edges, too. That sucked, right? It's just one of those things, man. That's what we all wanted. It just didn't happen. But are we going to get mad that we got a Tesla? Is anybody mad that we got Tate Ratledge? Is anybody mad that we got Tyleek Williams? I won't think so. I think they're all going to be studs. Sucks that some of our players got injured, you know what I'm saying, like Miles Frazier, because I do like him. And then Dan Jackson got dinged up, out for the year. That sucks. Yes, I did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I did. 3 months ago. And it's worked great. This is a new system for Parsons. He has not practiced all camp. I'm sure, but he's still a great player, guy. We got to not lie about that. Even if he doesn't practice, he is a player that smokes. So I'm not worried even if he hasn't practiced. I don't think he'll be too much rust. They'll just pin his ear back, and they'll just say, go after the quarterback. To be honest with you, that's what they're going to do. We do draft well, but I'm not going to give up all this capital to move up to the third for Broderick and trading at 2,000 a third to move up for fourth and to get Manu. Okay, yeah, we failed on Broderick. We failed on, well, Manu's on the team as number 2. So what? So what? Every GM fails. It is impossible to get a perfect draft. Brad Holmes doesn't F the draft. I'm not going to knock the man for the draft. There's zero. I'm not going to do it. If he drafts players that I don't like, I trust that he knows what the hell he's doing. He messed up with Broderick. It didn't work out. Oh, well. Do we have to go through all the players that we have found that has made this team a Super Bowl contender? It is the draft that did it. And it's not just the first round picks. So I'm not going to rip. He messed up Broderick. He messed up, James Houston, a 6th round pick. Or if he messed up a Hendon Hooker or whatever. So what? Why are we complaining about a draft pick, one here and there, when 5 out of the 7 picks end up being badass every time? I'm not going to, he does better than me. Probably could have gotten more for that. Potentially he could have gotten more. But remember, that is, they had to give up their number 1 defensive tackle as well. Yeah, so that's 3 players for 1 and a contract. So the contract is always big, and so that's in there. They probably could have got a little bit more. They could have. But I think both teams probably just wanted, or both parties wanted to separate. And that's just the way it is. Dallas is not the best when it comes to trades. They kind of suck. I think the Packers, they won the trade, in my opinion. I think for their organization, it's great, right? It is. It's a good thing for them. If Lucas Van Ness came out to be a stud, they wouldn't have done this trade, right? So they're getting their pass rush to put with Gary, who has worked out for them. That works out for them, okay? It worked out. It's a good trade. Okay, it works out for that organization. It wouldn't have worked out for the Lions. We're in a different spot. Like, our guy who we drafted worked out, so we don't need to do that. I don't watch Locked On Packers. That guy, they say they win the Super Bowl every year and win the NFC North every year. So I don't listen to that guy. I will listen to the other Locked On folks. Try to be as unbiased as possible. You know what I'm saying? Brad is hitting way more than other GMs. Yes, the only GM that I would say is better than the Lions right now is you got to go with Howie Roseman of the Eagles. Why are we complaining about the Packers here? We're trying to win a Super Bowl, guys. We shouldn't be just looking at the Packers. It should be the Philadelphia Eagles, to be honest with you. That is the team that we're competing with. We're trying to beat the Eagles. They're right now the team in the NFC. They won the Super Bowl. Their defensive line scares me 10 times more than the Packers' defensive line. I got to keep it a buck, right? They scare me more. Like that one scares me, okay? Their defensive line is all a hella scary. Their whole they got studs everywhere on that thing. So that's When I look at, man, if he would have went to Philadelphia, I would have just quit. I just threw it in there. I'd be like, this is ridiculous, man. But thank God he was in Dallas, and they're going to do that in the division. We have a team now twice a year. Way to get better. Yeah, yes, we play the Packers twice a year, and they get better. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. They're going to beat on other teams. That's a good thing sometimes. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Because it's basically a bye week. If you have a bad team in the division, it's a bye week for everybody else. Let's beat each other up. Let all these teams beat each other up a little bit. Yeah. We did a poll here. I did, would you take the Lions offense? Everybody said yes. Would you take the Lions defense? Everybody say yes. So, I mean, yeah, they're better. They got a Pro Bowler. They did. He's a great player. We already have a great edge rusher. And our edge rusher cost us the second pick in the draft. Not 3 players, but 1. That's when you draft well, you have the ability to do this. They did not just buy a Super Bowl. Jordan Love is not statistically better than Jared Goff. That's an absolute. Jared Goff stays healthy. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff's numbers is far better than the numbers of Jordan Love. It is a absolute lie for you to just say this. We're going to look at the numbers and compare right now. Let's see here. Let's do the compare and contrast because I just got told he's way better than Jared Goff. Let's do compare and contrast. Not preseason numbers. I want numbers from last year. Let's get last year's numbers. Okay. Jared Goff and compared to Jordan Love. We're going to go at last year's numbers right now. Let's get her done. Jared Goff, 4,629 yards passing. Second best in the NFL. Jordan Love, 3,389. Touchdowns. Jared Goff, 37. Jordan Love, 25. Interceptions. Jared Goff, 12. Jordan Love, 11. I don't know what else to say right there. So it's just not true. That is numbers. Says the biggest loser is Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I know he is the biggest loser in this. Yes, there you go. That is also a net negative, Mark. He was out. He's always injured. Thank you. You just proved my point. 3 games, 3.5 games, wouldn't even come close to those numbers. Yeah, the one was in 1 game. 5 picks was in 1 game. That shit game. Wait till Hutchter knocks Love on his backside. You know? Yeah, I just like, it reminds me of, I don't know. I have a feeling the Lions getting disrespected a lot. as of late, and I think a lot of people are going to be shocked. A lot are going to be shocked when we face them, week 1. I think they're going to be shocked. There's a lot of hype following the Packers right now, and everyone, you can be shocked. Yeah, he sprained his ankle. Yep, and played. Guess what, Mark? Staying healthy is also part of the game. It is. Hey, if it wasn't, then Tua would be a Hall of Famer. But unfortunately, you have to stay healthy. That's a part of it. One of the reasons I said that the Lions should have traded Matthew Stafford a couple years ago, I talked about it all the time. I said eventually that back is going to creep up on you. Doesn't matter how good you are, but if you're constantly getting injured, your body breaks down more. Just happens. And it's not a bad thing on Love or any person gets injured at all. It's just the human body. It's how it works. And I don't know, man. Ben Johnson, he's starting to think, like, is it you guys starting to get the feeling that maybe the Bears could fall off a cliff? I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of crazy stuff at their camp, that there's a lot of dysfunction going on. I don't know if that's true. We'll see. But, I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, right? We don't know with that one. I do think the Packers will beat the Bears. They are a better team than the Bears. But what's good is I think the Packers now can beat the Vikings more. Help us out, man. Come on, guys. Yes, I agree. So that's why I don't mind the Packers getting better, folks. I don't mind it. It's not the end of the world. Even if we were to lose a game to the Packers this year, it's eventually going to happen, right? We can't go 6 in the division every year, 15-2. But they will eventually help us out when they beat other teams that we may need them to beat in the division, being that. Bears are going to be humbled, I think. It's possible. It's weird. I'm really kind of wondering how it's going to go. To me, this is the most intriguing off-season news line, is what the hell is going to happen with the Bears and Ben Johnson. I am curious. I don't know if it goes good or bad. I couldn't tell you. He says they have no discipline. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out. One thing the Packers do got, though, is they got a really good coach, and I do think that LaFleur is a good coach. So, like, they can scheme well and everything, and so they'll put Micah Parsons in great positions to succeed. Make no mistake about it. He'll get his sacks. Hopefully not much against us. Decker and Sewell can hold the edges. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What do you guys think about Decker, though, about the future of them? Do you think that we should look towards next year's draft towards his replacement because he is getting up there? What do you guys think about that? Not for this year, obviously. Maybe not even next year. But, I mean, we have revamped this offensive line slowly, and he's kind of... I think we get one more guy, right, and it's pretty much revamped. If Miles Frazier works out, that would be amazing. That would just be absolutely amazing. They're competing in division. No, you're competing in the last division. You're competing with the rookie Caleb Williams and head coach Ben Johnson. That's your ceiling. Yeah, he has a losing record, but they're eventually going to beat us, guys. Like, it's going to happen, and then that's what happens. I know. I have a feeling that the Lions could curb stomp the Bears. I just got that feeling, guys. And I have a feeling the Lions beat the Packers by 7 points. And everyone's going to laugh at me and call me a homer. I don't care. I believe in this defense. After hearing everything in training camp and then seeing in preseason, and how they were just smoking people in camp against the Dolphins offense, the Texans offense, and our own offense, I think the Lions could really, they could be a better team this year. Like, this defense it's got me a lot of confidence. Is Brad weak at drafting linemen? Offensive linemen or defensive linemen? I think there's been a mixed bag on the defensive line, such as we failed with Levi, right? But then Aleem did really good. We failed with Broderick, right? He ended up sucking and not working out. We did great with Aiden Hutchinson. Joshua Pascal, he's not going to be here long term. He's this year. His is more to injury issues. And now that's an issue with Brad Holmes, right, is finding players with injury issues. So I think it's a mixed bag. Offensive line, Mahogany's great. I knew he was coming out of the draft. I liked Miles Frazier coming out of the draft. Tate, we'll see, right? And Penei Sewell's amazing. So on the offensive line, it looks good, right? Penei Sewell worked out and everything, so mixed bag. He said the Dolphins are a joke. Houston is better, but still, even if the Dolphins are a bad team, right? We annihilated them and embarrassed them in practice. That's what you're supposed to do to bad teams. If you're a really dominant football team, you embarrass bad teams. And we did that. And the Houston Texans, by the way, have a pretty good offense. So that's why I am confident. And the Lions' offense got stalled by our own defense. And we got a great offense. He said, game over by halftime. I don't believe that's the case. But remember, dude, we're good. It's not, we can travel and everything. We just run the football. And I think that's what our new OC is going to do. It's going to be run, play action. We got so many weapons on this team. So James Houston made the Dallas roster. Good for him, man. I hope he plays well. Taylor says 27-17 Lions. I could see like 27-20 Lions. That's what I probably am going to do. He says, watch. Yeah, you already know, bro. We get another tackle, and we're good with this offensive line for a decade, man. It's like, that would be ridiculous for a decade. We need to get, I would say, in next year's draft. And by the way, don't be sleeping on our linebackers. W1, you're correct. They're sick linebackers. But I will be definitely doing draft earlier this year because I'm excited to talk about the draft earlier this year. I can't wait to do that. I'm going to get into it early. I'm excited for draft prospects this year. He says pick your poison, correct? It is a pick your poison. So that's why I like, guys, like, we got to slow down, man. He says we're going to be running for his life. But why would you say he's going to be running for his life? How do we know this? How do we know this? Remember, when Graham Glasgow played center in favor, when Frank Ragnow was injured, he played perfectly fine. Okay? When Graham Glasgow didn't play well, it's because he was playing out of position. Tate Ratledge is good. He's really good. Okay? And Mahogany is really good. So if Graham Glasgow comes in here and he just plays like he did when Frank Ragnow was injured, I'm not worried about the Lions' offensive line. Not. Glasgow is not Ragnow. Facts. 100% facts. Absolutely. Correct. And Mahogany is an upgrade. Is Mahogany better playing left guard than Graham Glasgow was? Yeah. Okay, so we lose a Ragnow, but we remove a weak spot at left guard where you put Mahogany, who's strong there. There you go. Right? Am I right? Graham was bad at left guard. He's great at center. Put him at center. Mahogany, who's great at guard, now goes at that guard position. So the offensive line at that guard position is upgraded from last year. We got to see what Tate Rallage can do, but he's going to have rookie mistakes. It's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be running for his life. There's going to be mistakes, 100%. This offensive line, I do believe, is worse than last year. Yes, there'll be mistakes. Is it that much? Is it going to be a gigantic drop-off? No. Will Jared Goff be a little bit under pressure? Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. Okay, so say that's the case. Say we move down a couple spots with the offensive line. We go from number 1 to number 5. Jared Goff's under pressure. What do we do? What can we do? With a great offense that we have, what do we do to negate the pass rush? Run the football. Run the football. Run the football. It's going to open it up. The pass rush, okay, we got to stop this run game. Okay, it lightens up a little bit. Play action pass. The hardest defense we faced, I thought last year, in my opinion, was the Vikings. Not really. I thought the Texans played us pretty damn well. The Texans defense got us, but that was more scheme. But in the NFC North, the Vikings do scare me the most. Because they got a solid defense. Now, Jared Goff loves to blow them up. Jared Goff has the ability to do it, but if you look at the Vikings defense through other teams they faced last year, they were statistically a pretty good defense, too. We got a $1.99 super chat. He says, take a break because of your back. Thank you for that $1.99 super, but I am feeling pretty good, actually. My back is feeling pretty good. Panay on the St. Brown podcast. Yes, I did. 2 running backs that alone should confuse the Green Bay. Absolutely. And with Tyreek, before Tyreek got here, I was concerned about the interior defensive line to help stop that run. I'm not too concerned about that now. I think he can come in and hold the fort down, and when Aleem comes in there, I think our interior defensive line is going to be ridiculous, right? But I think the Lions can hold the fort down, and then we're going to have a great one. We in anyway, did stats the fact... Oh, he's talking about that. Hey, to be the man, you got to beat the man. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Whose famous quote is that? Woo! Woo! To be the man, you got to beat the man. We didn't beat the Commanders. We got to go and beat them this year. Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. They're the man right now. They're the man right now. So we got to beat I'm looking towards Philadelphia with our roster. So, yeah, Green Bay got better, okay? Still, Philadelphia is the team that we got to worry about. We're trying to get to a Super Bowl. So we got to keep up with the Eagles. So everybody's talking about Parsons to Green Bay. Who's got the better defense, the Eagles or defensive line? Eagles or Green Bay? Defensive line for the Eagles scare the crap out of me. That defense scares me, okay? That one can hurt Jared Goff, right? They got a plethora of pass, just waves of folks coming at you. Maybe the Packers can do us a solid and beat Philadelphia or something like that this year. That would help us out. It goes through the NFC North. Yes, I think it does. Let's see. Do you think that the Lions will even make it to the Super Bowl? Here to make a Super Bowl, my friend, it takes more than just talent. Like, we got talent. You look at a roster, everything's great, right? But what happened last year? We got injured. And so we were not the same team we were week 1 that we were in the playoffs. So, man, I want to get to the Super Bowl. But you got to have a lot of factors to get there. Stay healthy, be a great team, win coin flip games, be dominant, be able to confuse teams throughout the time. It's just so much. So, look, we've never been to one, right? But we still, when I look at the NFC as a talent-wise, I still think Philadelphia is the better team right now on paper. But if our offensive line is get together by the time the playoffs hit and the Lions are playing, because remember, we do got some young pieces and we got some new coordinators and stuff. And so hopefully by the time the playoffs hit, we're doing great then. But dude, we haven't even faced week 1 yet. And not use it as a crutch, do Super Bowl teams? That is true, unless your whole defense is on IR. Your whole defense is on IR. 20 players. And we lost our number 3 cornerback the second play of that game. So our number 4 was our number 1. We had nobody. So yes, you're right. If you lose a player or two, but if you lose the whole defense, that's not an excuse. What are you going to do in the preseason? Do you think if the Lions' number 1 offense goes against, say, the Packers' number 2 defense, what the hell do you think is going to happen? They're going to steamroll them. What's going to happen if the Packers' number 1 offense goes against the Lions' number 2 defense? They're going to beat it's going to come down to a field goal in overtime. And that goes for all teams, not just the Lions. Say, I don't know, Philadelphia all of a sudden starts having a boatload of injuries and they're losing Jalen Carter and they're losing all these players. Of course it's going to affect them. And the ultimate effect of an injury is if a quarterback goes down of any team. Quarterback goes down for the year, 99% of the time that team's done, right? Like if he goes down for the year, you just go ahead and pack it in. So injuries do affect 1,000%. If Jared Goff went down week 1, our season's over. I'm just going to put it to you like that. That's not an excuse. It is a fact. Unless they made a trade for Kirk Cousins or something like that. But you lose Jared Goff, you're effed. Right? So that's just the way that the NFL works. Hutch doesn't guarantee you to a Super Bowl, but you need Hutch to play with it. Yeah, absolutely. You got to have to make a Super Bowl, man. You have to have all the factors. All the factors. Remember when Green Bay did their Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers? It was just they're the 6th seed, and they went in there and they went on a run. Like it takes so much. So even if you're not the number 1 seed, it doesn't guarantee anything. Commanders beat us, and weren't they were they 5th seed? Can't remember. Yes, they are. Lions are a powerhouse, 100%. I don't think we'll sweep the division this year. It's so hard to do that. I would love it, but I do think Green Bay, Minnesota can get one on us. They can. And winning games is so close in the NFL, right? So I hope we do. It would be great, but I don't expect that the Lions will do that this year. I hope Chicago is better. I do. I want them to help beat the Vikings. I would love them to help to beat the Packers. So I want them to be a little bit, but not too good. 8-win team good. That's what I want. What are your thoughts on Aiden Hutchinson getting that contract extension? It's going to happen, and he's going to be. That is what pisses me off a lot about Parsons' deal. It's going to make Aiden Hutchinson's go up. It's going to be higher. That pisses me off. That sucks. That is something that affects the Lions down the road. It does. I was hoping to get the Hutch deal done before the other deals, but it is what it is, right? Lions are already a powerhouse. 1,000% we are. We are one of contenders. Absolutely, we're a contender. True story. But guess what? We didn't. And that just shows the grit. We should have lost a lot more. We should not have gone 15-2 with this defense with all the injuries. It is a testament to this whole team, though, to even get there. We had players we signed. I remember watching. We had like 3 players that was signed 3 days before playing. I forget what game that was. Like, it was ridiculous, man. If we go 11 wins this year, we still may be a better team than last year's team. Why? Because our team is way more healthier now. I don't expect the defense to do a crazy collapse like that with injuries. The schedule is way tougher. The NFC North is tougher. We may lose more games. Doesn't mean we're a worse team. I like what they did there. The offensive line is what I worry about, and the health of Davenport. You know, we lost Ben Johnson. I get it. 1,000%. Players also have to make the plays, guys. You can't just replace Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay, dude? Jahmyr Gibbs, to me, is one of the best running backs in football. You're not going to replace a David Montgomery, a top 5 offensive line, a St. Brown, a Jamison Williams, and a Tesla. These are players that are great. Players make plays, too. I understand we lost Ben Johnson. But players got to make the plays. Jared Goff's got to look for the receivers. It's not like Ben Johnson is saying, okay, you throw it now. That's not how it works. This team is similar vibe to the 90s team. They're scrappy. They're scrappy and gritty. That's what it is. That's why I'm not scared. It reminds me, okay, this team reminds me of San Francisco when they had John Harbaugh and they beat us at our house, even when that fight happened. Just a gritty-ass team, right? Like, nothing is great. Well, I mean, there was a lot of great players there, right? But they were gritty, man. They could travel anywhere and just beat you in the face. Just a physical team. That's what the Lions are, guys. Why do you think we went undefeated on the road last year? They embrace the suck. They embrace this stuff. They like it, man. They like to run the football and be in bad weather and shit. This is what they like. They like the crap. They like the suck. You can't teach that. That is a culture, like you're saying. That's the grit, man. That's a culture. Jesse says, comment skipped. Well, I can't see. This is what I hate is when people get mad if I skip a comment. There is 200 and some people in here. Just replay the comment. Don't get mad. There is 210 people in here right now. What losses? Oh, there could be, there's definitely could be some losses here. We got a tough schedule. Buffalo Bills tough. Philadelphia Eagles tough. Commanders tough. The NFC North is all tough. But guess what? We're going to beat the crap out of the Cowboys now. Cowboys win. There you go. We got another bye week. You wanted another bye week. They're going to be tough. I mean, look, the Lions can lose some of these games. It's going to happen, but it doesn't mean they're not a tough-ass team, man. They're tough. If the Lions lose somebody in the Super Bowl, who do you want it to be? No one. If the Lions make the Super Bowl, I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy. Let's see, Chad. Oh, they're going at us. Sorry. I don't know if he's going to be overrated or underrated as a head coach. We don't know yet because just because you're bad OCs could be good head coaches. Remember Dan Campbell? Hey, man, this guy's going to be terrible. He ended up being a great head coach. We don't know until the guys go. He could be great. He could suck. We'll find out, right? We will find out. We don't know. Being a head coach is different. You have different. It's a whole different thing than just being a coordinator. You know, it takes a different beast. Being a leader, you can be intelligent, doesn't mean you're a leader, right? Your IQ could be low and you could be a great leader. I talk about this story all the time. In my unit, my captain, he was literally his IQ is extremely high. He's a captain. He went to officer school, went to all that. He had master's degree, doctorate and stuff, intelligent man. Then you had my squad leader, no degree, 2 tours in combat, big son of a bitch that's been doing every time. Who do you think I'm going to take out on, when I go out on the go out past when I get outside the wire? Because I've done both. I've been with both, and I can tell you one's a moron, and one knows exactly what the hell he's doing. So we don't know until it happens. We don't know leadership until leadership is there. He can damn well call plays, and he's going to call plays, right? He will. No, I'm not saying we're losing to Philadelphia or to the Commanders. I'm saying these are teams that we're facing. I don't know who we're going to lose to, right? Like, we don't know. If I was Nostradamus and I could tell you exactly what it'd be, I'd be a billionaire right now because I'll bet. Shit, I have no idea. But the Lions can compete with every team we face this year. Make no mistake about it. We're not a scrub team. We are a contender. We cannot worry what other teams are doing. Why are we worrying what other teams are doing, right? Let's focus on our own team. Nothing we can do about what other teams do. All we can do is what we can do here. $2 super chat from my guy. Yeah, it's me. Says, I have Barry and Megatron football card. Who's next? Barry and Megatron? Get Jared Goff. Jared Goff. That's the guy. Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Come on, guys. I'm not worried. I'm not. It's still, like, it doesn't matter. Like, our schedule is tough anyways. Like, what does it matter? It's always tough. We just go in there and we just fight. That's what we're going to do, man. We're a tough-ass team. I asked everybody. It was there. I said, will you take the Lions offense, defense? They all said Lions. So what are we worried about? Let's go out there and fight. We got grit. We got Dan Campbell as our head coach, who I think should have been head coach of the year. We got Brad Holmes. Him and Howie Roseman are my two best general managers. I think Howie Roseman a little bit better because he's fucking epic. He knows what he's amazing. Guys, I feel like we got good ownership now with Sheila Ford Hamp. We're a well-run organization. We got to stop worrying. This is not the Lions of old, guys. This is not Millenhue. It's not Mayhew. It's not under that. I'm a YouTube featured live stream right now. I like to hear that. That is epic. That's why I'm trying to get to 100K. It's the whole point, right? So who are you going with? Hutch, Davenport, Muhammad Lynn, and Wildcat trades. What's up, Crimson, man? It's been a minute, my friend. Yeah, but Pascal's injured. Remember that right now. He is injured, so Al-Qadim Mohammed will be your rotational guy, especially for week one. Let's go week by week with this. So you'll have Davenport, Hutch, and Al-Qadim Mohammed doing some of those snaps. Hopefully we have no injuries with any of these guys because we are short. We especially don't want to have wheat out there on week one, right? We don't lacy there. No, we want the guys that we have right now. Yes, I'm still on the radio. Yes, I am. I am still on the radio. Yeah. Question for you guys. Do you think that the Lions can still score 30 points against the Packers defense? I bet you Y's across the board. Y's. So what does it really matter? Like, are the Packers better than Philadelphia? Are they better? No, they're not. Well, that's the team we're trying to get to a Super Bowl. I don't care about anything else now but getting to a damn Super Bowl. That is it. That is it. Super Bowl. So we're competing with Philadelphia. Asher says yes. So there we go, man. And not doing a homer take. Just be unbiased. Not do a homer take. Everybody is doubting the Lions for this reason and this reason alone. We lost 2 coordinators. That is what the big media is saying, okay? Now, we were all worried when we lost coordinators. I wasn't with the defense. I thought Shep would be better, and he's proven to me he will be better. Are you guys worried about Morton right now, of what he can do? No. In training camp, they gashed the defenses. All defense. They gashed. They won half the time against the Lions defense and gashed Miami Dolphins and Texans. Okay? That is the fact. Texans got a great defensive line. They gave us fits last year, and we beat them in practice. We beat them in practice. That's why I'm not worried. I think we're good. Mike, do you see the Diesel's NFC North Hollywood Squares Lions prediction? I'm not that high. I think 13 wins is a bit much. I think 13 wins is a bit much. Yeah, I agree. I think 11 wins, 11, 12 right there. I think 12 is the ceiling, 11 wins. I think 10 is the floor, right? I think you're right there. Maybe the Lions lose a game early, right? Because we still got continuity to go with this offensive line. But as the season goes along, these guys are going to get better. And it's just the way that it works. And I fully expect Mahogany and Tate Ratledge to be complete veterans by the playoffs, guys. Come on. Let's see. Brought in only defensive tackle. Let's see. Well said, Mike. The Cheeseheads talk. No, they're a better team, and I let them talk. That's great. And I'm the Packers fan have the right to be happy right now. It is a good move for the organization and for what they were doing. And they are a better football team today than they were yesterday. That is a fact. But what does that affect the Lions? We're still a better team. The losing the Frank is the biggest one that we had, Crimson. Of all the issues, it's not the coordinators, it's losing Frank Ragnow to retirement. That was the biggest loss. Because we have great players. It's just crazy. So I'm not too worried about it at all. I'm not too worried about it. Can score 30 on Detroit's defense? No, not this starting defense. Last year's defense, yeah, because it was beat the hell up. This year, no. The secondary is ridiculous. This whole defense right now, the starting defense is amazing. If Davenport is healthy, right? He's healthy. This whole defense is amazing. It's all about the health. But we're going week by week, right? We got Davenport for week 1. So we go by week 1, right? So it's a week to week. If Davenport gets injured, right, I think it does hurt a little bit because we have some issues on that depth. But this defense right now, the way it is, it's scary. It's going to ball out. I don't think this starting defense, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, man, to score on this defense. If we start getting injuries, though, it's, we lose DJ Reed or Terrion Arnold, it's going to be hard, right? I think Rocky Sin could fill out if there's an injury to one of our safeties. If we start getting multiple injuries, we lose Hutch again and Davenport. We lose Tyleek Williams. We lose we're starting to get way too much at that point. Back's doing a much better. What we had losing last year. Marcus Davenport, Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, Carlton Davis, just Alex Anzalone for a big portion of it. We lost even backup linebackers. I think we were up to their 6th lineman at one point on defense. Is a company. Okay. Well, starters is slang for homers to define the best option to accomplish a task. Starter means the first of all to start with. Yeah. Your opinion is cool. Does Micah trade force pickup of Z? No, I don't think it for. Guys, the Lions are not going to do anything just because another team does it. They're not going to do that. The Packers needed to do this for their team. They needed this. They needed to compete in the NFC North. It's a tough division. They had to get an elite pass rusher. The Lions were not in that position. I don't know what to say that. Okay. If people think the backups are starters, then it's in a world of hurt. I don't know what else to say. It's totally different. If you remove Jared Goff, we are definitely not a playoff team. Period. We lose St. Brown, that hurts. You lose St. Brown free, that hurts. I think we can still go on. You lose St. Brown, Jamison Williams, and I don't know. So you lose Jamison Williams, St. Brown, Isaac Tesla, and Khalif Raymond for the whole season. You think this offense is going to be great. Oh, we lose Sam Laporta too. We're going to take injuries to Jameer Gibbs. Of course it is. If Jordan Love goes down for the year, of course they're worse. If Matthew Golden goes down, of course they're worse. If J.J. McCarthy goes down, of course they're worse. Josh Allen goes down, of course they're worse. What are we doing here? That's why you have starters and backups. The starters are better than the backups. That is a fact. I don't know what else to say. If we're facing the Chicago Bears and all their first string is out, of course we're going to curb stomp them. Look what we did to the Titans. They're like, our whole team sucked so bad last year. They were like backups, and we steamrolled them. Great teams like Philadelphia, they're stacked, right? Like teams that are not stacked, it's different. You lose a player, it hurts. You lose a Hutchinson, it effing hurts. You lose Jared Goff, it hurts. That is real. So if you don't believe that, I don't know what to say. Parsons to the pack. We swing it depth, guys. Somebody tell me something. Parsons to the pack, Fred, we already got our Micah Parsons and Aiden Hutchinson. We got that. They didn't have that guy. If we were to trade for Micah Parsons, you would have to give up, what was the trade? 2 first-round picks and a player. And a contract. If we were to trade for Micah Parsons, this is what you would give up this year. And I'm going to tell you what you would give up for the following years. You would be giving up, if you wanted to do 2 first-round picks, Terrion Arnold, Tyleek Williams, and a player, Ali McNeil. And then with the contract, what you would be giving up down the road is Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, and Jamison Williams. Does anybody want to do that? Is that a smart move for an organization, for the Lions organization? It is smart for the Packers. But we draft well. We give up first-round picks. That's not, you give up first-round picks with Brad Holmes, you're giving up talented players. I'm not wanting to do that, dude. Now, he says here like a Rashawn Gary type. Yeah. See, like the Lions, we are Hutch. If we got Zadarius Smith, I would be happy. I agree with you. It's like another rotational piece. But we didn't need to get Micah Parsons would hurt us. If we didn't win the Super Bowl, say if we traded for Micah Parsons and we didn't win the Super Bowl this year, it would kill our team down the road. It would gut the team. You would have to win at this. It would be an all-in move, right? That's balls deep in, right? It is different for the Packers, though. Remember, they drafted Kyle Van Ness. He is underperformed for them, right? So when they draft, it's been a little bit. Now, Matthew Golden looks really good. But for them, it's a good move, right? They're looking at the first-round picks more 50-50. So to them, it's like, well, shit, we're going to get a Hall of Famer. That's a great move for them, right? But, I believe that the Lions are great at drafting, and I don't like giving up picks when I know for sure they can get stud players in the draft. Say we give up that and we don't win the Super Bowl. Oh, my God. Could you imagine? Yeah. And it's the same. Remember when Khalil Mack got traded to Chicago Bears? It was all the hype when it happened. They're going to win the Super Bowl. What did it do to the Bears? Let's look at reality after the fact. What did that move do for the Bears? Did they win the Super Bowl? No. Did it make them better? It made them better, but did they get the Super Bowl? No. What did it do? It effed them in those draft picks down the road, and it hurt them for the long haul. It did. So when you make a move like this, it's got to pay out, right? It's like when the Rams did the Stafford trade. If they didn't win a Super Bowl, that would have been the biggest fail of a trade, right? But they won the Super Bowl. It worked. It worked. It's a gamble. You don't win that Super Bowl, you could hurt your team for a long-ass time. But I think for the Packers, if I'm a Packers fan, I love it. If I'm an organization, I love it. I think it's a great move for them. For that organization and for that team, they are better for it. But it would not have been a good move for the Lions. It would have been a bad move for the Lions. It'd be great for this year. But it would have decimated. I love Brian Branch, and I got to keep it a buck. I think about this all the time. I think Brian Branch may be my favorite player on this whole damn team, and I want him extended by any means necessary. I know Hutch is getting extended, but I love Brian Branch. Why do I love Brian Branch? He can play safety, cornerback, linebacker, rush the passer. He's a game changer with interceptions. He's an elite player. Right now, Brian Branch is an elite player. We trade for Micah Parsons, we lose Brian Branch. That's a fact. You can't keep Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. You do that. I would rather have Brian Branch for the next decade than have Micah Parsons for 4 years. I give up no Brian Branch for no trade, for nothing. I want him extended. We got to think, that's what you got to think about. And I remember Valenti saying, well, I'd trade for Trey Hendrickson, Brian Branch, and a couple first-round picks. That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. Would you guys have traded Brian Branch and 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons? I wouldn't have done that. Because he brings so much to this team. So that's other things like, we know Hutch is getting extended. Well, you trade for Parsons, you ain't extending Brian Branch. So look at that. Think about that. If you're salty right now as a Lions fan, I wish I could have got it. Just wait and realize, would you like to lose that player? You probably wouldn't want to lose that and all their players, right? Because you would lose draft picks, and we already know we're great in the first round. Chad, correct. Chad brings up, I agree with you on this one. Max Crosby, yes. That would be, because I think Max Crosby is a top 3 defensive player in the NFL, period. He may be a top five player in all of football, right? That's, to me, he would be a guy that, but you could see a Max Crosby with this team for a long time, right? But for Brian Branch, absolutely not. I would not do it. For a Micah Parsons. He's just too valuable. But I agree with you 100%. So just calm down, guys. Remember precedent. Remember, we're still a good team. Everything's cool. Packers are better, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, guys. It's not. they can help us out. They can help us out. Maybe they can squeak a couple wins in here for us. Right? Like, jeez. So, what is their schedule here? They got to face, obviously, the Lions. They got to face the Commanders, the Browns. They're going to beat the crap out of the Cowboys. The Bengals, the Cardinals, the Steelers, the Panthers, Eagles, Giants. Then it gets tough. They got a tough, The end of their schedule's tough, man. Vikings, Lions, Bears, Broncos, Bears sucks. Ravens, Vikings. But I bet you the Bears are going to be a lot better by the end of the year than they are at the beginning of the year. That is going to be a fact. I think that their team will be better by the end of the year, but they can help us out. Maybe they could beat up on the Eagles, right? Maybe they could pull an upset there. We go out, win a week 1. It's going to be hilarious, man. Hilarious. All right, folks, I've been on for over an hour doing this, and I just wanted to reassure everybody, talking Detroit Lions here. I've seen a lot of people going crazy, and I'm like, man, I better do a stream here.